Welcome back to our YouTube channel, ladies and gentlemen. I want to begin by saying that if we cannot open the IBC servers and scrutinize the result in it, then we better stop this conversation about who won the elections. Because that is the only machine that can give us nothing and nothing but the truth. Number two, this glorification of America as if they are our small god must stop. We are in an autonomous country, and even if we are worshipping the USA, we must have some level of decorum, because the way William Ruto is now handling the Meg Whitman is like we are not even in our country. They are handling us like a puppet. And number three, Meg Whitman and all the diplomats must understand that Kenya is for Kenyans and we are trying to heal. These reckless and careless statements about the legitimacy of the August polls must stop. We don't care. They have given William Ruto the win. So let them stop this kind of utterances. Speaking with authority, you may think that Meg Whitman was the IEBC chairperson during that election. Let Kenyans heal. Because some of these things that we are saying are really emotionally traumatizing some of our Kenyans. Now, barely a day after Raila told Meg Whitman to shut up, Meg Whitman and William Ruto hurriedly met, and I believe William Ruto never slept. I know he called the American ambassador, apologizing almost on his knees, because the magnitude of what Raila did is something that the whole of Kenya Kwanza never expected. Because according to them, when Meg Whitman coughs, then the whole of Kenya must catch a cold. So when Raila told off Meg Whitman to stop behaving as if we are a colony of the West, as if we are a colony of the USA, Ruto did not take it kindly, because this is his boss. And he hurriedly instructed some of their senators and governors, led by Governor Susan Kihika of Nakuru. And if you looked at that press conference, they didn't know what to say. They were not prepared. So today, William Ruto went to apologize, because in the pictures that you see, that is Chris Coons, the Delaware US Senator, a man who is supposed to be making deals. Whenever they have taken away our victory, that is the man who would come and tell Raila that is a statesman, that the whole world is watching him, and Raila will always back down. So he's here again. And while enjoying his stay in Kenya, they send Meg Whitman to tell Raila Amolo Odinga that the elections were free and fair, knowing very well that Kalonzo Musyoka led team and Kimani Ichung'wah led team are beginning their talks. And one of the things that they're discussing is electoral justice. So they are putting it very clear that while they want to, touch on some agendas, electoral justice will not be part of it. And I'm just wondering, what is the need of these talks? Because the people we are supposed to be talking with are chest thumping. What is the need of these talks? If you want to know that William Ruto simply went to apologize to Chris Coons and the US Ambassador Meg Whitman, then you listen to the statements that he made immediately. They held that meeting, and he was in I think he attended some graduation ceremony within Nairobi, and he emphasized on the fact that Meg Whitman spoke statements that according to him are very true.
The American ambassador said two statements of facts. She said the last election was the freest and the fairest in the history of Kenya, which is a statement of fact. She said Kenya is open for business, which is also a statement of fact. I mean, surely, let us have some decorum and respect ourselves as we demand respect from others. So I was just imagining between the people who are orchestrating destruction of property and sabotaging our economy, and those who are working with us to create investment opportunities and investment capital for the people of Kenya. Between those two, I was wondering who is actually rogue. I think it's for the people of Kenya to judge. It will be a tragedy of monumental proportions if, in this time and age, we want to glorify demonstrations that are violent, that destroy property, that destroy people's hustles, that destroy opportunity, that sabotages our economy. I mean, we would be a very reckless people if we were to glorify such. On the other hand, we would be very ungrateful for us to vilify the people who are creating opportunities for us. We have 200 billion investment from the American government. We have huge investments from Germany. We have huge investments from other countries. We must know what are our interests, and we must secure those interests. And I want to encourage all of us as leaders to focus on the things that bring opportunities to millions of young people, to millions of citizens of Kenya. We must not be petty. We must not, be looking at things that are personal. We want to move this forward.
And that will be the noise. That will be that will be the topic that will be discussed today, tomorrow, and the climax will be on Sunday in one of the interdenominational prayers. I don't know why it's going to be, but if you want to get the best of William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua and Ndindi Nyoro and Kimani Ichung'wah, if you want to get the best of them, then tune in on Sunday when they attend. I'm just trying to check where they are going to meet on Sunday. It's going to be interesting, because that is where they are going to worship America. They are going to worship Meg Whitman. They are going to worship Chris Coons. Instead of worshiping God that will be taking them to those churches, they are going to worship America. And I really pity my country, Kenya, because sometimes I understand if I was in Ruto's shoes, I would try to at least show the US that I'm loyal. But why can't we behave? Why can't we borrow a leaf from Yoweri Kaguta Museveni? Yoweri would always put his people first. I know that the level of democracy in Uganda is questionable and is almost wanting. And I've heard some people say that Yoweri is being used by the USA. That is where they follow is the ladder when US wants to reach Congo, to take the resources. But when it comes to the welfare of the Ugandans, like the other time, Yoweri was being forced to ratify LGBTQ. He refused. He told off the USA. In fact, they reacted by denying him loans from World Bank, but he's unmoved. How I wish that we should behave that way, so that even if you want to appreciate USA for giving you that victory, but we need to have a limit. Because from where we stand, I have listened to this conversation that the USA is an investor here and they are creating jobs for our people. I mean, this should never be an excuse for their silence when atrocities are being committed in Kenya today. And if Meg Whitman is not careful, William Ruto is going to turn into a very bad dictator. Because I listened to them after Meg Whitman made statements qualifying and giving the green light to the August polls. They have, all of a sudden, they have turned wild because they know that they have been given the authority at the right time. If you've studied the movements of William Ruto, they have the ICC with them because you saw the prosecutor coming here, and that is because US and ICC is one thing. They fund ICC to the tunes of billions of dollars, and so ICC will always listen to them, despite the fact that they are not a signatory. And William Ruto has the US on his side, and of course most of the Western diplomats are with him. And these statements, they are going to make William Ruto to become a dictator because he knows very well that whatever he does, no one will question. And they forget that there is the power of the people. Sometimes if you've seen many dictators, they behave as if they are the first people to ascend to power and the last people will ever ascend to power. They don't even imagine that power is transient. They don't even imagine that there comes a time when the people might decide that enough, it is enough. This kind of worshipping, I repeat, must now stop. And the main reason why William Ruto must beg, those are Raila's statements. I wish he could even tell Meg Whitman that if there is one person who must apologize, let them face Raila Odinga. Because if they insist that what Meg Whitman was saying is true, then what Raila was saying is also true. We can never ascertain the legitimacy of the results that were given by Wafula Chebukati if the servers are not opened. In fact, all these talks are a waste of time. If Meg Whitman believes that the elections were free and fair, let them, without interfering with the server, just show Kenyans, and we will stop all this. If Raila is defeated, we will tell them, umeshindwa. But they know they can't open it. And now Meg Whitman is sucked into the murky waters of our politics, plain politics. It is very sad. Now I wish that all diplomats would behave, knowing very well that they are visitors in our countries. But they are now behaving like they are not even prefects. They are the owners of our country. Ladies and gentlemen, I think people should rise up. I have seen them saying, because Raila told Meg Whitman that if she's not careful, they would write a letter so that she can be recalled. And they're now saying that Raila is saying that we should go to Washington DC or the American embassy to demonstrate. Yes, people can even demonstrate because Meg Whitman is out of order. I want to finish from where I started. If there is an opening of the server, stop talking about the legitimacy of the result. Stop talking to us with authority about the result because people are healing. And the worshipping of the US must stop.